It's time. It's time. So, we're going to begin. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of Unity of Little Rock today. Thank you for coming here and being a part of this. I want to invite you today that you're going to take a leap of faith. You're going to just step right out there and leap into the world. Okay. And you're going to let your light shine, meaning you're going to let who you are be expressed in the world. Okay. And to start that off, I got a wonderful song about a leap of faith, and it's going to make your parts vibrate. Okay, I promise you. But also within it is this idea of a lover in this song. But I want to invite you that the Sufis talk about God, the divine, as love, yes, lover, and beloved. So I invite you, make this song fit your understanding, your idea about what divine mind, what God is, as we tap our foot a little. Here we go. Give us a little more volume on that. See if no angels. Yay! That's the kind of music that wants to get me dancing, want me to pull out all my fine moves, like washing the socks. Y'all know that move? About the sprinkler? Y'all know that move too? So, this is June. We're in the month of June. I see Dave is wearing his Juneteenth acknowledgement t-shirt there. But also, June is Pride Month. And for some of us, we went to a Pride festival yesterday in Parade down in South O'Main on Summer.
Were you there?
I was there for a little while. It sure was. And so, ask me later. I had some fun interactions while I was there. Come on in, Chris. So this is Juneteenth in our month of June, but also this is June in the sense that June is the time that we've come out of this winter of withdrawal, resting, and we've started to blossom and open up. But June is that time when we start to fully express ourselves. And I'm inviting that acknowledgement of Pride Month in June is an acknowledgement of an expression. And this is a unique expression that all people bring forth the unique expression. And as we celebrate Pride Month, we're celebrating certain individuals' expression, but as in a whole, we're celebrating all our expressions. A.W. Willingham, this is from CNN, has a great statement here. He says, I've been thinking about the difference between tolerating and celebrating. When you tolerate someone, it's as you're forcing yourself to acknowledge they exist. I tolerate you, okay? But when you celebrate someone, you're letting them know you actively appreciate their existence. They bring something of value to the world just by being them. So I invite that this month that we're going to acknowledge in Pride that we're celebrating those of our LGBTQ plus and all those acknowledgments and expressions we celebrate. We don't just tolerate. Okay? We're not a community that says, come on in so we can change it. I invite that we're going to celebrate. Come on in so you can express who you are and be who you are so that we can be better because you are expressing this unique attribute that I ain't that and you aren't this. But that celebrate that you and me and all of us are that unique divine expression. There's also this statement here comes from Unity Worldwide. It says, together we embrace our individuality, we celebrate our uniqueness with full acceptance of all people, including every expression of the divine. We come together with love and compassion to be a light for all. We stand together in unity. And then, as Dr. Seuss so eloquently puts, be who you are, say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. So we celebrate today. So as you're taking that leap of faith today, part of that is going to be celebration. So with that, acknowledging here that we have a Unity of Christ candle. A candle is showing that there's a light shining. And that light isn't just in some candle. That light is your light. It's our light. It's the light that lifts up and is contained within us, that is us, that shines out as part of that unique expression, that you bring that light forth. And this candle is the acknowledgement that as you bring it forth, you're bringing forth too your own unique expression of that light, of the divine. Yay! Gail is here. The party can begin.
Oh my Yay!
And you're just in time because we're going to do our opening statement. So I invite us to say this together. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. And Dave, if you would come up here. Dave is going to read us the daily word today. And he's going to celebrate it. Here we go.
That's right. Thank you. I might say first, according to the theme, optimism and leap of faith, that yesterday, the first thing I did, well, the first thing I went to farmer's market for a little while, but at 9 o'clock, the Juneteenth had a flag raising. I didn't even know there was a Juneteenth flag over at the Mosaic Templar. And it was really a nice ceremony. They had all three flags go up, and anyway, it was really nice. And then went over at 10:30 to the Soma event, which was Soma Pride, and I'd never been before. I've heard of it. A lot of friends wanted me to go, and I thought, I'm not a heat person, but I'm going to try it, early. And it was wonderful. It was really, I was absolutely blown away by the, fantastic support of the community. So I would encourage you to do that. And then I went home that afternoon, took a little nap and got up. But I've got to share this with you. I was so blown away by this person I heard on NPR. I don't normally watch NPR or listen to NPR on a Saturday, but around 3 o'clock, they had a special guy they've been talking about. I came away, kept saying, yeah, this is, at the very end I thought, this is one of the wisest people I think that I've ever heard. And he's a comedian. And it's Trevor Noah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, when you hear him he's talking about AI, so if any of you have any feelings about AI is not going to be good or whatever, he is one of the most optimistic people I think there is. They asked him in the interview, well, what do you think is good about the future? What do you see? And he said, everything. He said all of it. And you could tell, but it's fantastic. If you want to see it, they'll probably repeat it sometime, but it's a wonderful, wonderful interview. Anyway, today's word is optimism. And optimism colors my world with love. My experience of the world depends upon the attitude I bring to it. When I hold positive thoughts and share the love in my heart generously, the world becomes an inviting, friendly place. Optimism makes me a magnet for positive people, exciting opportunities, and serendipity of all kinds. It lifts my consciousness out of the mire of worry, anxiety, and fear, and keeps me focused on the beauty of the earth, the goodness of people, and the presence and power of God. When I perceive God in the kind acts, selfless impulses, and loving service happening all around me, my optimism grows. I feel renewed and inspired as I focus on what is right and good in my life. In gratitude for the world's wonders, I grow in optimism. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. Let us affirm together. Optimism colors my world with love. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, thank you. All right. Come on, guys. All right. So let's join in prayer. And let's see what give me just a moment here and see if I can stop some of my creeping, crunching, crackling that's taking place here. Yeah, not so much so. All right. If you're willing and you want to close your eyes, at least soften your gaze. Because today, we open. We step out there and take that leap of faith, and we open to that divine that we are. There's one presence and one power we talk about in the universe, and we call it by names of God, universal intelligence, and source. But really, it's an experience of all that is, and that all that is has within it that full potential. Everything we can imagine, dream of, is contained within that presence. So all our hopes and dreams, that which we admire, even that which we stand and push against, it's held in a foundational way in that source. And as a foundation, you and I have that same foundation. Means we can pull upon those same divine ideas using our imagination. And that which we can pull forth can be wisdom, can be knowledge, can be harmony, can be beauty, can be strength, can be zeal. Whatever it is that we desire, we can reach up and pluck and pull into our existence and manifest it, bring it into form here. We are those beings. That spirit, that source, that is who we are and what moves within us and as us. So pulling on that, we know and imagine and take that leap of faith into a world filled with harmony and order and peace. We know that the conflicts of the world are resolving because they're healing. They're bringing out a shift, an awareness of what needs to change from into what needs to change to become. It is a becoming that in some ways is already here. We're simply stepping out there and allowing it to be here now. So we acknowledge this and say this, knowing that as a community, we have all those attributes available to us. As individuals, we have all that wonderful source presence available to us. And that we shine that light and make a difference in the world. And I say it is so, and I appreciate it, and I have gratitude for that understanding. And I say thank you to myself and to the world. And so it is. Amen. Wahoo! So, we're going to go into meditation, but to lead into the meditation, I've got a song here. And it's not such a quiet, slow, little meditative song to lead us into. But what it is when I have conversations, I sometimes recognize that that we as a community forget that many people come into these doors because life is crap for them. Right? they are feeling and experiencing pain and loss and grief. They're uncertain of their purpose. They're uncertain of where their next meal is going to come from. Are they going to have rent this month? They feel that suffering of life. And what we offer here is an opportunity, a way of helping shift that presence for them. We can support them by loving on them and being those people that step into their lives. And maybe those people are you. But we also support one another and those people that are in that moment of uncertainty and pain by giving them a new consciousness, a new way of approaching this life. So this song is just leading us in to that idea and that understanding.
Just be strong, and it's a fight just to keep it together. I know you think that you are too far gone, but hope is never lost. Hope is never lost.
Touches me in that don't give up, don't give in, because you're going to be okay. So no matter what is taking place in the life. And that rises and falls. Most of my days are good, and some days I want to do the right? I want to kick the ground. And I want to cuss at something, you know. But I remember that it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. So as we go into meditation, I invite us to remember that. So as you're willing here, at least soften your gaze, if not close your eyes. And just be aware of your presence. That you feel yourself sitting in this chair, your feet on the floor, your hands in your lap. You're aware of the sounds and the movements in this room. And we're remembering that we're going to be all right. If this is a day with pain, we're going to be all right. And if this is a day that already seems all right, this is a day in which you're going to step forward, leap into new experience of you. So wherever your starting point is, you're leaping. You're leaping into that strength and foundation that is you. That glorious divine self that you are. That all the answers that you long for, hope for, dream of, they're there. They're already within you. They're already close. Like a soft breath and a whisper on your neck. Intimate, close. Whatever transpired before is no longer here. But you are here. And with each breath, you claim that right to be here. It is your right. And as I claim it more and more, I claim more of who I am, the fullness of my being, the wholeness of my being. And I know I'm not just going to be all right, but I am all right. I am all right. And as you rest here in the rise and fall of your breaths, just allow yourself to settle deeply into that source, that presence, that universal intelligence, that God that you are. I am all right. Because the breath that moves in me is the breath of life. And that life is that divine, that source, that presence. I am all right because I am that. And that I leap grander bigger, farther than I ever have, to embrace that all right, source, divine. Not because it's outside of me, but because it's for me to claim it as the I am. I am. So with your awareness on your breath and that rise and fall of your chest, bring your awareness, your attention back to this room, back to this space, back to the chair you're sitting in, back to you. And as you're ready, open your eyes. Take a look around the room. And be all right. Look at that. He's talking about take a leak today. Did y'all have any idea?
I think we got it.
Man, I win. So, I got 1,000 things, like usual, I want to share with you. But I ain't got time for 1,000 things. That's always the dilemma. Because actually June starts for us that each of our speakers this month is taking one of the 5 principles. Right? And they're going to explore and break that down and do what y'all have seen us do. Each one of us brings our own take and our own slant on it and our own way. So you get actually a different take. That's the power of having different speakers, is we all don't quite look at things the same way. And even what I'm going to share with you today, I spent hours to try to needle it down to share the points I wanted to share, because it's on the first principle, which the first principle is there's only one power and one presence, God the good, omnipotent. Or you could say it as God is absolutely good, everywhere presence. Or God is all good, active in everything and everywhere. Because in unity, we don't have one way of doing it, do we?
Yeah.
Okay? We give you multiple options. There's the 5 unity principles. And actually, if you look on your tables, I have some handouts there for you. You're more than welcome to take one home with you if you want to. It lists different ways of different ideas about how to present the 5 principles. Everything for what might do with kids to what adults might prefer. So you can take one, or you can leave them here for the weeks to come. But here's a great simplistic way to think about those 5 principles. Okay? And we've talked about this before. It's the thumb is number 1, and then we go 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1 is God is, I am, I think, I pray, I live. So God is, and if God is, then I am. And I think, I pray, I live. Something that I think that you will see explored, and maybe not directly mentioned, but they might, is those first 2, God is, I am. If you're more comfortable and want to say, what is God? God is love, and I am love. That's okay. That helps you remember, helps you relate to it. But those 3 following principles, I think, I pray, I live, or I act, I do. Those 3 are how we bring the first 2 principles into action, into manifestation in our world. How we utilize those 2 principles. So the 3 principles, the final 3 principles, support and help us manifest those first 2 principles, which I think is an important point for us to remember. that actually our 5 principles are giving us a way, are giving us the steps to help us be those first 2 principles. There are things that I want to tell you because I want to create a foundation for you. But I can tell I want to jaunt off different directions with you. So let me give you the pieces that I want you to have, because I want you to have the foundation for this month that will help us in this month. Okay, and that is, what the heck is God? What are the names we use for God? Come on, give me some of the list, the names for God.
I am.
I am.
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Spirit. Jehovah is one of them. Spirit. Substance. Creator. What'd you say, Travis? Atman.
The Force.
The Force. Yes.
Be with you.
I should have known it was going to come out of Dave's mouth. We had all these names for God, but what is God? Everything. Yes, God is everything. So we talk about God as principle in unity. And principle means that it's this definite, exact, unchangeable everything for us. Most of what I'm saying here comes from Charles Fillmore. I've taken it right out of his umpteenth books, because I had to whittle down all those books that he wrote in which he tried to describe God. And the beauty of it too was he tried to describe God this decade, and then he wrote about it again in the next decade, and then he wrote about it again in the next decade. So his own evolution of his understanding, and now you've got to go back and pick up those books and figure out what the heck he was talking about. Okay? But we've got God as principle. It's this unchangeable, exact expression of everything. Okay? But Myrtle Fillmore, the other co-founder of Unity, said that God is not a cold, senseless principle like that of mathematics, but the principle of life, love, intelligence. She was trying to tell us that it was something living. It wasn't just this cold, disconnecting, only exacting, but disconnecting cold thing in our world, in our existence. Right? But this realm of God, or the realm of this God mind, are divine ideas. So you remember what are divine ideas? Come on, all you unitech folks. What's generically? What are divine ideas? Inspiration. There are the ideas, the inspiration, the imagination that's in that infinite unchangeable. Meaning there are infinite inspirations, infinite ideas there for us. So we get to access those divine ideas. And a way to think of that is that we take all this infinite, as far as like Russ can spread his arms, and we pull it. We pull out of it that inspiration, that idea. And now it's our idea.
Right.
Okay? And we start limiting it. And as we limit it down, we bring it into form, into expression, into this reality with us.
We are the divine idea expressing as.
You betcha! Well done. Come on up here and teach
And
that.
in the form of. Give me a couple weeks.
I'll be looking for it. All right. So these divine ideas are ours because they're our inheritance. They're our inheritance, meaning it's what makes us up. It's us. It's ours. We use that old terminology of we're children of God. Well, we're more than children of God. We are that. We are that expressing. Okay? But those divine ideas are our inheritance. They're our right for us. And those ideas too they're pregnant with possibility. In some ways, they're just, I don't have the right word for it, but I'm going to use this word.
Vibrating.
They're vibrating and they're resonating, and they're calling to us to vibrate and resonate with them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, thank you, Beverly. Wonderfully said. Because in some ways, it's a calling that we're answering. Okay? I know that's old terminology, and we sometimes don't like that terminology. But that idea that it's a vibration that's taking place, and that you vibrate with this one right here, and I vibrate with this one right here, and that's why I pull that one into my existence and manifest it and bring it forth for us. But these divine ideas, okay, a divine idea is a flower. How many possibilities of flower are there in divine ideas? Well, you and I can't think of all those possibilities, right? There's such an expansive.
And more that we don't know, don't even exist. It could be.
Right. There might, even if I knew every flower on the planet,
At this time.
there's the infinite possibilities of so many more that just don't even exist yet here for us. But what's behind the idea of flower? When you look at a flower, any flower, what do you think?
Beauty.
Beauty. So the divine idea behind flower is beauty. Okay? And the flower is just one expression of beauty. Right? So the divine idea behind music is harmony. Right? So we've got this underlying or behind divine idea to those individual ideas that we bring forth into manifestation. Okay? What happens to a flower if you don't water it, Angel?
Oh, guys.
It withers, it fades, it dies. Okay? But that divine idea of flower, does it ever fade, wither, die? No, not the divine idea. It's unchangeable. It's timeless. So I can pull from that divine idea all I want. All that flower I want, I can pull it and never change it as a divine idea. I can change it as I bring it into expression, but the divine idea itself is unchangeable, timeless. It's always there, and it's never depleted by what we do on this side. So we don't have to worry about it fading and withering and dying away for us. Let's go back to, I showed you 3 different ways that you could state the first principle. What was a word that just stuck out in all 3 of those for you?
The good.
The good is good, because Beverly brought to us the idea about whether the divine is good, whether God is good for us. All right? So, God the good. I'm going to invite for us, part of our exploration with this is that maybe this terminology is actually appropriate for the first principle.
Okay.
And it's appropriate because if God is good, then the principle is good. And the principle isn't a human being. And that divine idea isn't good or bad. When it's in this full expression as a divine idea, it's not good or bad. It simply is. It's all. It's all. Okay? So it's us, when we bring into this reality, I start judging. Is it short or tall? Is it thick or thin? Is it good or bad? But as a divine idea, there's nothing to compare it against. Okay?
Right.
So the good, when we're talking about God the good in the first principle, we're talking about that it simply means that the good, which, here I'm going to use some examples, the order, harmony, perfection, beauty, love, that underlies the divine ideas and is there regardless of the situation in our lives. So the good is really the good are those expressions that are held within this divine idea of harmony, of beauty. Name some of those attributes. Jeannie, I pick on you. What are some of the 12 powers?
Well, that's strength, faith, life. Oh,
Yeah.
sure, life.
So all those are what underlie or are behind or beneath all those ideas, divine ideas that we pull into existence. So when it's saying God the good, it isn't saying good as in good versus bad, but good because those attributes, those powers of zeal and beauty and harmony and strength are all there and available for us now. So good isn't trying to tell us whether it's good or bad. Good is trying to tell us that that underlying is there always and available for us. And part of me, where the rest of the little head goes to, but I do good and bad. I compare things, and maybe that's not a good word. Maybe we should change that word, doggone it. Right? But then I go, no, because in Russ's good and bad world, when I say God the good, it reminds me that I'm the one taking this divine idea, pulling it into this realm, bringing it down and manifesting it into form, into experience here. Okay? And I'm the one that gets to choose whether what I bring right here I label as good or bad. So when I say God, that the good, it reminds me that as the creator bringing it through me and bringing it to form, I get to decide what the outcome of it is for me. Right? I don't get to decide that for you. You get to sit over there and say good or bad, thick or thin, tall or short. But I get to say, I'm going to bring this as good into my world. So that helps me in my experience of this big, huge idea of God. Because what I'm giving you such a simplistic and not full version of what we mean by God when we talk about it within unity. Because we can talk about God as everything, as Roger said for us, but we can talk about God within you. We can talk about God as we express. There's different ways in which we can really identify and talk about God. So I'm only giving you a wee little piece of it today. So I hear God calling. And the trick is pick up, right?
I'll take that call.
All right. So why does all this matter? Why does this principle even matter?
It does and it doesn't.
Okay. So
Because we're meaning makers.
yes, we're trying to make meaning of something, and we're actually trying to describe something that's indescribable. Because part of that good, when I'm talking about that in divine ideas, is how do I define that? I can't even define. How do you define beauty? I can give you examples of beauty, but I can't define beauty for you. How do I define harmony? Well, I can maybe give you an example, but can I define it? It's not definable for us. So how do we put it to use? Why does it matter for us? So when we're reading the Bible, Jesus Christ has been given all these things that supposedly he said in his ministry, okay? Of which we know maybe he did and maybe he didn't, okay, with that. But for me, those things, we can take what's said and make them applicable to us, right? So it comes down to that. I've told y'all some of this story. I went to this teaching the first time back in the 90s when I'd come to Unity, and it was Inner Focus, and some of you know about Inner Focus. And the first day I was with them, the leader said, okay, we're going to sit down and meditate. Oh, and I feel Jesus is coming through, and I'm going to channel Jesus. And of course my head went, because I didn't even know you could channel, much less that you could channel Jesus. And after a week of that, I came home and I told a friend here that was leading the Course in Miracles about it. And I said, can that happen? Is that a real thing, you know? And she said, well, how did it make you feel? I said, the things that were said by her when she was channeling Jesus touched me so immensely and so deeply. They were transformative for me.
That's pretty cool.
And she said, well, then it doesn't matter whether it was Jesus or not, does it? So I think that apply that to the Bible. Doesn't matter whether Jesus Christ said that or not. It's what do we do with it? How does it impact us and make a difference for us? Because Jesus Christ is credited with saying, I am the way, the truth, and the light. And he's talking about the essence of him, right? He's talking about his divine nature. And he said this is the I am of him that he's talking about. And it's the I am of him is the same as the I am of each and every one of us. That was part of the teaching, was not just that I'm the special one, okay? But you the special one just like me. We're all the special one. Right? And these things I do, guess what? You can do them too. And probably are going to surpass me. These things I do, you can do, and greater things than I do, can you do. Okay?
Faith and hope.
Faith and hope. You're still in my thunder. We're getting there. We're getting there. But another thing Jesus Christ is credited with saying is that he was talking about the kingdom of God. And he said, it is in the midst of you. Okay? So he was saying it's a reality. It's not someplace far off. It's in the midst of you. And I read, they took that statement and retranslated it in a present day translation. And the translation, the way it reads today is, the kingdom has already arrived as a possibility. So that kingdom of God, that presence of God, that which is the truth, is here right now. It's already arrived. So, to me, we talked about this morning in spirit groups with the talking about healing and all the other things we talked about this morning. Talked about, well, at least I said it, that to me there's an idea, this prototype of the perfect you and the perfect me held in these divine ideas. That perfection, that perfect prototype is there for us. And it's for us to pull on that principle, to pull on those divine ideas. And that's a choice for us to do. Just like answering that phone call. You can answer, you cannot answer. Okay? It's a choice. You get to choose what you do with that. But if you choose to answer, then it's you allowing that expression of you to move into this world. That prototype, that perfection idea of you to move into this world, which is a divine being, a spiritual being, the source acting as you, through you. You're that living example of that. So if we're struggling in life, having things that are giving us a hard time in life, in some ways it's our choices and what we've allowed that bring us to this place in which we're having that experience. And unfortunately, sometimes in Unity we like to shame people and say, well, it's just because you ain't doing it right? If you just held the truth of who you are, you'd be A-okay. When the truth is, I I got as much crap going on over here as any human being does. And you do, and you do, and you do. And in this moment, you may not be experiencing any of it, but what about last year? And what about maybe next year? There'll be a moment. Then maybe you step into that. So now you have the opportunity to move, to make a choice, to move through that. So I'm offering that we take that possibility. We take that leap. Because that leap, in some ways, is throwing up in our arms to that vibration and allowing ourselves to step deeper into the infinite possibilities and pull out another possibility. I want to reach into the hat. I got a name in the hat. I want a different name, right? A different name that describes Russ. I want a different one. And I want to pull it out. That's a different possibility. And I get to choose that. Okay? So, I'm going to give y'all a sports analogy. I know some of you are going, oh Lord, rolling your eyes. Okay? That's what my wife does when I give her sports analogies. This is an old one, because this is Ken Stabler. Ken Stabler was a quarterback for the Oakland Raiders back in 1900 and something. This is a whole other century ago.
1900.
But he was being interviewed by this journalist, and this journalist had gone to this historical marker for Jack London, that's the author, okay, the writer. And he'd read these inspirations from Jack, and was touched by them. And so he read, during his interview of Ken Stabler, he read this statement that touched him. And the statement is, from Jack London, is, I would rather be ashes than dust. I would rather that my spark should burn out in a brilliant blaze than it should be stifled by dry rot. The proper function of men is to live, not exist. And then he turned to Ken and said, what's that mean to you? And Ken paused for a second and went, throw deep. And for those of you that football don't mean nothing to you, that means a touchdown. That's the goal. That's the result that you want in the game. And to throw deep means you ain't trying to take little baby steps. You aren't nibbling away at it. You're going for the gusto. You're going for it all right now. This is it.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. You're saying, the full potential is mine and I'm claiming it. I'm going for it. I'm throwing deep. So, I'm inviting for us, part of what we want to do is to take that leap, but it's to throw deep. To throw deep in our lives, to step beyond what's comfortable. I have the things in my life that I look at sometimes and I go, wow, I'm just really comfortable in that. And when I have my throw deep days, I look for a way to step beyond that comfort level. I heard Travis and I used to go to a program, and one of the doctors there, when we were talking about all of us, there was something that none of us liked doing. We don't want to do it. And we asked this doctor that was from a practice point of view was extremely successful. And we asked him, well, what do you do with those things? How would you do that? Because, we don't want to do it. And he went, well, that's the reason I do it. Because if I'm uncomfortable with it, then it's a place for me to grow. I'm going to step into the new possibilities of it and discover what it is that I was pushing against, but also discover who I am on the other side of that. So I'm inviting us to throw deep. Not throw deep only as individuals, but as a community. We're a community, boy, we could sit around and complain and whine and bitch about what's taking place. Okay? But in essence, this is our opportunity to throw deep. We have the opportunity to no longer just be in that comfort of this is the way it's always been. Well, no, it's the new way that it can be. It needs to be. What's that vibration and resonance calling to us, not as only as individuals, but as a community? What is that possibility for us? So with that, y'all know who this is? As Indiana Jones. Indy, all hell's breaking loose for Indy here, which is often the life of Indiana Jones. But his father's about to die, they're about to die, there's just chaos and mayhem. And he has to do what?
Save the day.
Go through it.
Take a leap. Okay?
Is it possible? Nobody can jump this. Indy! And you must hurry! Come quickly! It's a leap of faith. Right. You must believe, boy. You must believe.
Life is filled with possibilities. Those infinite possibilities, those divine ideas. Life is filled with that. And when we step up to the edge, whether that's the edge of the unknown, or the edge of where we know that it's comfort for us, or the edge of where the pain seems to be for us in our experience, and we take that leap of faith, we're going to either do what? We're either going to find that we step out on that and find that there's solid ground there, but also maybe we step out and find that we can fly, because those possibilities are infinite for us as individuals, but us as a community as well. So there's one power, one presence. God, the good, the omnipotent.